Hello, fifth graders. Today we're going to go over how to do order of operations, how to multiply fractions, how to divide decimals, and we're going to do one word problem to finish the lesson. So for the first section we're going to go over is order of operations, and we're going to solve the following using PEMDAS. So on the right side over here, I wrote down what the PEMDAS acronym stands for over here. So we're going to go over number 2 and number 4 using the PEMDAS over here. So P in the PEMDAS stands for parentheses, E for exponents, M for multiplication, D for division, A for addition, and S for subtraction. What the PEMDAS determines is the order of operations, as it suggests. It's the order in which you do each operation. So you're going to do parentheses before exponents, and you're going to do division before addition, and that's just how it works from bottom to top, from top to bottom. So for number 2 over here, what I like to do is I like to circle each of the operations. So 15 divided by 5 minus 2. So we see that we have a division sign over here. Let me just mark it over here. And a subtraction sign. So as we're going from top to bottom, we know that division comes first. So we're going to do 15 divided by 5 first. So we know that as 3. And now we're left with 3 minus 2, which we know as 1. So your final answer for number 2 will be 1. So for number 4, it's just basically the same thing, except now we have 3 different signs over here. So it's 4 times 3 plus 28 divided by 7. We have a multiplication sign, we have a division sign, we have an addition sign. So we're going to go from top to bottom. So multiplication first, and we know that 14 times 3 is what we're going to do first. 14 times 3, if you calculate it, it should be 42. And I'm just going to rewrite the rest of it. 42 plus 28 divided by 7. Now from between plus an addition sign and a division sign, we know that a division sign comes first. So we're going to do division first over here. 28 divided by 7, which we know as 4. 42 plus 4, which is 46. So your answer to number 4 should be 46. Pretty simple as long as you follow the order of operations and the PEMDAS over here. So for the next section we're going to go over is the multiplying fractions, and we're going to find either the product of the fraction depending on what question you get to make the statement true. So I'm going to do one where we have to find the product and where we have to find the fraction. So number 3, I'm just going to rewrite it on the side over here. 5 over 7 times 3 over 4. So this is pretty easy. Multiplying fractions is pretty basic. You're just multiplying the numerators together and you're multiplying the denominators together. So for the numerator, 5 times 3, you should get 15. 7 times 4, you should get 28. And something you always have to do is check if it's simplified all the way, which 15 over 28 is. So this is your final answer. So number 4 is a little bit different. We're going to go over how to find the fraction. So y over z times 7 over 5 equals 3 over 10. Just treat this as one single variable when you're doing algebra. So what you need to do over here is divide both sides by 7 over 5 in order to undo this multiplication sign over here. So we're going to cancel this out since multiplication and division undoes each other. So now from here, you're just doing algebra. So you get y over z equals 310 divided by 7 over 5. Now to divide this, you have to multiply by its reciprocal. If you watched the last session, you should know how to divide fractions. So a reciprocal of 7 over 5 is 5 over 7, and we're just going to replace the sign to multiplication, and we're left. So now when you're multiplying fractions, you just have to multiply the numerator and denominator side by side. So 5 times 3 is 15, 10 times 7 is 70. So now over here, we notice that it is not simplified all the way. So to get it simplified all the way, I would like to divide both the numerator and the denominator by 5, which is a common factor between them. So we know that 15 divided by 5 is 3, and 70 divided by 5 is 14. So you should get 3 over 14 as your final simplified answer. Now for the next section we're going to go over is dividing decimals, and we're going to find the quotient. So we're going to do number 2 and number 3 over here. So I'm going to write 1.0 divided by 0.2. The numerator goes inside this symbol, division symbol over here, 1.0, and the denominator goes outside here. Now, when you're dividing decimals, it's hard to see how much it goes inside here. So the way to do this is change this outside number into a whole number where it's not a decimal. And the whole number is much easier to divide with. So in order to make 0.2 into a decimal, you're going to move the decimal once to the right. And the thing is, if you do it to this number, you're going to also have to do it to 1.0. So this also, just like 0.2, you're going to move the decimal to once to the right. Now I'm going to rewrite this in the bottom. You'll end up with 2 as your outside number and 10 as my inside number. And how much does 2 go into 10? 5 times. And you'll get a remainder of 0. So as you can see, it's much easier to divide with whole number rather than the decimal. So we're going to change the decimal into a whole number. If that was a bit confusing, we're going to go over another problem over here. So this time again, we're going to put the 0.1 on the outside and a 1.2 on the inside. Now again, we're dealing with decimals, so we're going to change the outside number into a whole number. So take this decimal and move it once to the right in order to get into a whole number. If you do it to the outside number, you obviously have to do it to 1.2 as well, once to the right, and we'll end up with, if you rewrite it, you'll end up with 1 on the outside and 12 on the inside. And 1 goes into 12 times, and with a remainder of 0, your final answer is 12 over here, and that's it. Now the final section we're going to go over is word problem, and we're just going to do number 2 over here. It says, Ben bought 4 packs of balloons for his child's birthday. Each pack of balloons comes with H balloons. There are 24 balloons in total, and find the H over here. So I'm going to highlight the values, highlight the importance that are important, highlight the informations that are important. So we see that 4 packs of balloons, okay, so there's 4 packs of balloons, and each pack comes with H balloons, so each pack, and there's 24 balloons in total. So I'm just going to give a visual representation of how this looks. So I'm going to represent circles as packs, as one pack. So since we have 4 packs, I'm going to draw 4 circles over here. And it says each pack comes with H balloons. So we don't know how much balloons each pack comes with. So I'm just going to represent it as a variable H over here. And it says 24 balloons in total. So if you add up all the H values inside each of these 4 different packs, you will get 24. So to represent this, I'm going to draw it over here. It's this H pack plus H pack equals 24 balloons. So now to represent this as an equation with actual values instead of these drawing circles, you will get 4H, because H plus H plus H plus H is 4H, equals 24. And now in order to solve for H, we're going to have to divide both sides by 4. So I'm going to divide both sides by 4. You'll end up with H equals 24 divided by 4 is 6. So you'll end up with H equals 6, which means that in each pack there was a number of 6 balloons. And if you count it all up, you'll end up with 24 balloons in total. And that's it for this section.